pleasure to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. For 25 years, this congregation has partnered with the Monmouth Center for World Religions and Ethical Thought to value and promote and celebrate diversity in all of its forms. Just from a personal note, I was living in downtown Manhattan on September 11th, 2001, and I saw firsthand the end result possible from religious prejudice on the offensive. I sought to become a part of greater dialogue among faith traditions, and it was then that I discovered Unitarian Universalism, a haven for cross-religious dialogue. And it was also then that you began United We Sing, a vital effort toward understanding through song, dance, poetry, and other art forms. The urgency for bringing people together is still strong in our country and around the world. And I want you to just know we meet here every Sunday morning at 10:30 to sing, hear inspiring words, and create community. And you are always welcome to join us. We're so pleased that you're here this afternoon. May we forge new relationships and new appreciation for one another. Our diversity is our strength. Liz?
Thank you to the UUCMC for your warm hospitality. And I would also like to thank you, Craig, for your welcome. I'd like to welcome everyone to this, the 19th Annual United We Sing, a joint program of the UU and the Monmouth Center for World Religions and Ethical Thought. November is also it's Native American Heritage Month. We give attention to indigenous people. We declare that we stand united against the treatment they have received in our country as we sing as a form of love that we are sending to enable us to transform us towards greater peace and friendship. When Christopher Columbus arrived in what is now known as North America, the region was hardly unoccupied. It was not a new world to be discovered, but home to millions of diverse indigenous people with their own cultures, languages, and sovereignty, who had occupied the land for thousands of years. Historians agree that for the people indigenous to the Americas, the arrival of Columbus and the Europeans who followed him was a calamity of catastrophic proportions. Over time, the population was decimated through war, disease, enslavement, forced displacement, and outright murder. American Indians were not granted U.S. citizenship until 1924 and were not given the right to vote until 1948. They were not granted religious freedom or the right to determine the welfare of children in their communities until 1978. Many of us are still reeling from other events in our land. We need to be reminded that hate can only be overcome with love. We need to unite in solidarity with people of other nations, other faiths, other cultures, other political viewpoints. We unite as people diverse in beliefs and one in love and peace. We unite not in fear, but hope. We are called to love others, and that includes people of all nations, all beliefs, or no belief. This is how we live in peace. We must mend gaps, bridge divides, ease people's fears, and act for good, for healing, for hope, for peace rooted in justice. More dialogue, less fear. Dialogue crosses boundaries. Engagement leads to change. Interreligious insight awakens new modes of understanding and practice. Today is a celebration of diversity and gratitude. John Milton said, "Gratitude bestows reverence, allowing us to encounter every day epiphanies, those transcendent moments of awe that change forever how we experience life and the world." In her book, The Language of Letting Go, Miriam Beatty looks at gratitude in a following way. It unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. The Roman orator Cicero said that gratitude is the chief of all virtues because it makes the other virtues possible. This is because it forces us into an intimacy with the cause of our gratitude. We and everyone else in this world are embraced by a God who reaches beyond our artificial boundaries of race and class, gender and ethnic group, immigration status and nationality. Gratitude is what teaches us the truth about our lives. Our hope today is this celebration and Mosaic, a project of the Monmouth Center and the Monmouth County Human Relations Commission. Mosaic stands for mobilizing our students for action to build interfaith community. It's a multi-faith learning, community service, and leadership development project. This year, we're working with 62 students. We have worked with students from 9 different faith traditions: UUs, agnostics, Episcopalian, Roman Catholic, Reformed, Greek Orthodox, Sikh, Jain, Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, none, and the one I love, undecided. Community service projects are being planned. We were just at the Sikh Gurdwara last Sunday. On December 15th, we'll be at the Hindu temple in Morganville. Join us if you can. Check out our websites for more specifics, either interfaithmonmouthcenter.org or gardenstatemosaic.org. And do see our Facebook page. We have officially been accepted by the United Religions Initiative as one of the cooperation circles. In so doing, the Monmouth Center has joined a global multi-faith community service. We are expanding our reach. With a grateful heart, I thank the board members of the Monmouth Center, and I invite them to stand. Would you all please stand? Thank you for your vision and your leadership. And thank the board and the United We Sing Planning Committee, especially the champions of the program, Patty White and Dr. Raul Andravali. We reap the benefit of their teamwork, their skills, their devotion, and their love. Working on the team were also Stevie Lishan, Christine Benago, Ari Chang, Monica Patka, Chef Georgette Thomas, and me. Thank you, Barb Gunther, on the PA system, and also Harrison Toll taking the video, and Reverend Dr. Joyce Phipps, who is our sign language translator. We lost 2 valued board members this year, Milton Zimmet and Dr. Tony Malone. We miss them. A reception will follow today's program, and we invite everyone to join us in the community room. Please become a friend of the Monmouth Center. Complete the simple application form and help us as we enhance dialogue. All that will commit you to is being on the mailing list for free reading program announcements. Any donation today will be used to defray costs, and we depend on donations to carry on the work of interfaith dialogue. A basket will be available in the community room for your generous gifts. A few housekeeping details. I ask you to join me in silencing your phone, and bathrooms can be found by turning left after you leave the Earth Room. They'll be on your right as you proceed to the community room. And now, let's begin our celebration of Thanksgiving and diversity.
Welcome everyone to our 19th annual Interfaith Thanksgiving celebration, United We Sing. Many thanks to Monmouth, who previously championed and organized this program for many years. This year, Dr. Rao, Antelovu, and myself helped coordinate today's events, but as Liz mentioned, this is a team effort. So there's all the names that she mentioned, plus the names of the board members who are not in this room because they're still out there working, getting the food ready, greeting guests, and so on. But this is a big team effort, and we're really thrilled and excited for everyone who came today, as well as all of our performers. Just to mention that during the performance, you may be invited to either sing along or clap with the music that's being presented. Please feel free to do so if you like or not. And if you think of anything that you think could improve this program, also please let us know. Regarding the performers, they're all listed in your program, and we won't be introducing them each separately. You will all come up, I hope, when you know it's your turn. And just FYI, we have a standing microphone, a handheld microphone. Does anybody know where the oh, right here. and this one on the podium. So the handheld will be right here. Please use it as you need for your performance. Just as many of us are gathering this week for Thanksgiving with our families, so we gather today as one human family. And even though perhaps our immediate ancestors came from one or two places that we know of, science has established that all of our distant ancestors migrated out of Africa many thousands of years ago. And over these thousands of years, they traveled to cover almost every place on the globe, throughout North America and the farthest reaches of South America. Many of our performers today are sharing the traditions that have been lovingly preserved by our ancestors, including our indigenous presenters today. As Liz mentioned, November is Native American Heritage Month. And while we know of the troubled history with the Native peoples, many of the North American indigenous peoples were so welcoming that, according to one historian, William Loren Katz, almost every Afro-American family in the U.S. has a Native American branch to its tree, from Michael Jackson to Jesse Jackson, from Frederick Douglass to Langston Hughes. In his book, The Seven Mysteries of Life, author Guy Murchie describes the cousinhood of humanity. That's us. We can prove mathematically that even if you go back 10 generations, each person in this room has over 2,000 direct ancestors, not including the aunts, the uncles, and all the cousins. Everyone alive today is at least 50th cousin to anyone else who is living on the planet, probably closer than that. In fact, we are all directly descended from anyone who lived 600 years ago or more. So in that spirit, on behalf of the Monmouth Center for World Religion and Ethical Thought, we welcome you to your family reunion.
Good afternoon, and welcome you all to this wonderful program.
Thank you, Patty, for bringing out the fact that we're all related. This goes back to the good old Sanskrit saying, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire world is a family. So here we are, welcome to the family. Sit back and relax and enjoy. I want to thank everyone here for either participating in the program or coming here as participants or as members of the audience. And thank you and enjoy. Just a brief instruction for those who want to use the handheld. You just need to press this button in the middle once until the light turns green. Thank you.
OCO family, I greet you in the traditional Anawayan manner. You probably know the Anawayan as Cherokee. That is their name given to them by the European. Actually, I should start with my name. My name is Black Wolf. My government name is John Brown. I am of Anawayan heritage, Seminole, and of course African. And I come to you today as a historian. You ask, what is a historian? I'll be sure to tell you. But first, in that this is National Native American Heritage Month, we'll talk about my indigenous heritage, as well as these ladies who are with me this morning or afternoon. Anawayan, meaning the principal people. That is the name in which what you know as Cherokee call themselves. Why are they called Cherokee? Well, when the European settlers asked the Muskogee people, who are those people who live over there? The says, in our language, we call them Cherokee, meaning those who speak a different language. So, the British held on to that. Now, they also held on to Creek, whereas the Muscogee's name for themselves is Muskogee, but we know them as Creek. That's interesting in our history when it comes to indigenous people. They don't get to name themselves. I won't pursue that any further. Well, let me tell you about a historian. What is the literal meaning of history? His story. And those teller of the history have a way of perceiving it from their perspective. However, he doesn't tell all of it. A lot is a mystery. It's unaddressed, distorted, it just doesn't exist. It's a mystery. I represent a mystery. And I'm going to speak on that mystery. The mystery is Native Americans or Indians of color. Melanated. Okay, let me catch up to myself. Look, my glasses. Anybody got a pair of 250 reading glasses? In our culture, our society, our education system, our TV, whatever, we do not acknowledge the fact that there are Native Americans. Okay, thank you. These are no better. They're free. Oh, yeah. You don't want these back, do you? Okay. Like me, many melanated Americans have some measure of Native American heritage. As Patty indicated, Bill Katz just passed just recently. He was a personal friend of mine, a tremendous loss. Bill is a historian's historian. Anyway, we call them Creoles, we call them Maroons, Breeds, but like me, they are melanated. And I'm going to tell my story, thus my role as a historian. However, at this point, we're going to have our clan mother speak on her topic.
My topic would be that which is being unfurled. That being the banner or the flag of the Anuia nation. It cannot be seen. Okay.
Come over to the center.
While they are working that out, I will say that you can see some of it. So the flag has multiple colors and a seal in the middle and 4 stars. The white stands for, as white often stands for purity, but I like the meaning that it stands for freedom. Are we free? The blue, of course, is for the sky. The red for the blood of the people. And the 4 stars represent the people who are scattered through the 4 corners of the world. And we, those who are scattered, stand beneath the sky of blue and the earth of green. As a clan mother, you have to be a certain age, of course. So I've arrived. Clan mothers are leaders. Native people, indigenous peoples, are generally matrilineal, which means the opposite of what we do. The power rests with the woman. Okay? The child's heritage is determined by who the mother is, not who the father is. Listen, this is different. Clan mothers also are very much a part of making decisions in what happens overall in the clan. For example, if there is the possibility of war, the clan mothers have a great deal to say about that, to the extent that that war may not take place. But clan mothers have that much power. That is one of the very beautiful things that has not been taken from the indigenous people. So much has been lost, I won't go into that, but women are still powerful because we are, after all, where life comes from, okay? No, I'm not going to do biology, but you understand. I want to say briefly, because time is short and so many people have to share, that there are many, many similarities between indigenous people and African Americans, formerly enslaved. Very quickly, I will say that when people were free, whether they freed themselves or otherwise, they often went to places in this country where there were indigenous people, and they became part of that clan, that tribe. There was marriage, there was not marriage, you know how that goes, but there was a relationship, a bonding between indigenous people and formerly enslaved people. There are a lot of myths, and I heard them when I was a child. They're not true. Yes, there were relationships between red people and black people, if you will. Yes, there are families that were created between those two cultures. And unfortunately, to this day, many people of African origin have a hard time when they say that they also have indigenous blood in them. People simply don't believe it. But you know, as the historian said, there are a lot of mysteries in America, and you will not unravel them by reading the history books. Drumming, of course, is a significant element in both the native culture here and the native culture in Africa. Drums are used for all kinds of celebration, and drums are used to send messages, warnings. It can tell about war. It can tell about where people are needed to be. Drums may tell many, many things. And as you also know, in this America, enslaved people were not allowed to use their drums. However, the indigenous had theirs, and they knew what to do. The oral tradition is one that is also shared by indigenous people and African Americans. Before there was anything written for both of our cultures, the word was spoken. It was learned and passed on. It was a great honor to be in the African tradition, a griot. That is one who learns the history of a village and then passes it on. There's a saying that when a griot dies, it is like a library burning down. And I will say this last thing, interdependence and a close relationship with the environment. We know, as we have seen in the past, how many years, with what has been going on in the western part of the country, with monuments being ignored and desecrated, and water being treated as if it was nothing. We know how important, how sacred the environment, the elements of the earth are to the indigenous people. And the ancient Africans felt exactly the same. But unfortunately, many of those ancient Africans were brought here and became enslaved people. And they had the time only to do the bidding of the master. And the master was not as concerned about the environment. Mother Nature, speaking of the great mother, Mother Nature took care of the people, and people took care of Mother Nature. And this is a way we must continue to walk. I hope. I would like to say that this sister is not Anihuea or Cherokee. She is Choctaw. There are many nations. Over 400 in the United States. Her family comes from Mississippi. So there was more than just colored people in Mississippi being mistreated by other people. The Choctaw were there, and she had a wealth of information, which I'm sure she would be happy to share with you after we prepare to the wonderful reception that awaits us. Thank you.
In a way, wrap up. It's okay when an African American says, I'm part Indian. They're not giving up on their melanin. Yes. Thank you. They're simply acknowledging their indigenous Aboriginal American heritage. You may call us what you wish, but realize the melanated indigenous Aboriginal Americans or Indians, we are part of our national American heritage and the American culture. I've been scarred and battered. My hopes, the wind has scattered. The cold done froze me, the sun done baked me. Seems like between them two, they try to make me stop laughing, stop loving, and stop living. But I don't care, I'm still here. Langston Hughes, Powhatan.
And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yasha Seth, and I am here representing the Jain religion. I was going to be performing with my older sister, but unfortunately she could not make it today. She sends in her regrets as she has a major exam tomorrow. But over the last 6 years, I have gotten really used to dancing with her, so I am a little nervous, but I'm sure with all your support, I will be fine and I'll try to do my best. So coming to today's performance, every year we celebrate a 10-day long festival called Paryushan or Dust Lakshan. These days are considered as the most auspicious and holy days in the year. We do self-introspection of what we have been doing, focus on understanding our souls, and study about our leaders who have attained liberation so we can follow their path and get liberation as well. My dance is in praise of all those pure souls who have showed us the path to liberation through daily practices. I hope you all like it.
Oh heighten this to professional wrestling. I have flyers.
Problem solved. Thank you, everyone. I wanted to introduce the song that we're about to sing. The name of it is called The Queen of Carmel, as you see in the program. It's dedicated to the Shrine of the God, which is depicted on this photograph. This year, in fact, 1 month ago, Baha'is around the world celebrated the 200th anniversary of the Bab. That name means the gate. He was the co-founder and herald of the Baha'i faith, which is now in all corners of the world. And what he was heralding was the promise of a new day, a new revelation from God through Baha'u'llah. So the words to this song are actually mostly taken from the writings of Baha'u'llah. We consider them, the two of them, like the twin messengers from God. So the words in this song are dedicated to the shrine. This is on the side of Mount Carmel in Haifa, Israel. So Israel, we know, is holy to the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, also to the Baha'is. It's considered a site of pilgrimage for us. So thank you, and here we go.
Stand bit. I have a guest here that I would like to bring up to share right now. I want you to she's going to bless us in a mighty way right now. I want you to welcome to the stage Shayna Wilson Williams. Right?
Every man In the spirit of United We Sing, for the first time, I am pleased to share with you some music from the Muslim tradition. As you know, in our prayer services, we do not include music. However, in the culture, music is very important. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we all gather to give thanks to God Almighty. And in the Islamic tradition, this song relates the 99 attributes of God that we all recognize. So now let me turn it on. And for the last several years, you have heard me speak about the pledge to stand up for the others. As Liz said in the very beginning of the program, that hate cannot be overcome without love. And it is that this pledge actually calls all of us to do, to show that love is to challenge bigotry anytime we see that. I'd like to share that with you and share the website at which you can go and read more about the pledge and certainly sign if you like. Many of you have signed it in the past, so this time we are going to do it electronically. So let me just share the pledge with you. It essentially says, while interacting with members of my own faith, or ethnic, or gender community, or with others, if I hear hateful comments from anyone about members of any other community, I pledge to stand up for the other and speak up to challenge bigotry in any form. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and that's my sister Sanika, and today we're going to tell you a little bit about Kathak. Kathak is an Indian classical dance form based on the Hindu god Nataraj. So it mainly revolves around Hinduism. In Kathak, most of the dance also revolves around footwork, hand gestures, and facial expressions. The dancer uses these swift movements to create a unique story. To start off, we're going to show you what is called a Ganesh Varan. It is devoted to the elephant god, Ganesha. Each gesture is used to show its appearance and personality. For example, this gesture is used to show its large stomach. And this gesture is used to show its one tusk. We're going to start by setting a certain rhythm called a thought. So, dances, they're in Hindi. So, next one. So, next we're going to show you what's called a Kavi Varan. This dance is about the festival of colors, or Holi. Lord Krishna and Radha are playing colors. Krishna is trying to put colors on Radha while she is resisting. So we're going to set the beat again. So,
Lalita Chandra Vaditiyo Ghor Rang Ghor Sar Ghor Banvari Mehari Jajari Mehari Jajari Mehari Jajari.
So lastly, Kathak has also had a large influence on the Indian music industry. So Kathak as a way to convey their feelings.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting us. We represent the Sikh faith. Sikhism is a monotheistic religion, and the base of our faith starts with Ik Onkar, which means we are all one. We are all children of the same God. We need to love and support each other. We have always stood up for freedom of speech, religion, and practice. What we are singing today is a hymn from our group, written in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. What we're singing is going to be projected up there, so please feel free to sing along.
Hello? Thank you for inviting us to join in this celebration today. This is the first time we've ever done this together, and in fact, the four of us sit with different Zen groups in Monmouth County. What we decided to do today, and I have to add, this is going to be those last couple of acts where it's going to be a hard act to follow, but we'll do what we can. My name is Myoshin. I'm an ordained Zen Buddhist priest. And what we decided to do today is to chant what is known in Japanese as the Enmei-juku Kanon-gyo. And Kanon is the Japanese name for Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. When we chant the Enmei-juku Kanon-gyo, we are chanting that we may acknowledge within ourselves that which is compassionate. And in Buddhism, compassion is also known as love. So we're grateful to have these chants, and we're grateful to perform this as we would in our regular service for you today.
Shalom and hello everyone. We're honored and grateful today to be part of this beautiful and meaningful program. We are representing Congregation Torah L in Ocean Township. On my extreme right is Steve Winters on the cajon, the drum. Next to him is Brian Mount on guitar. And to my immediate right over here, my husband Bob Casey on guitar. I'm Peggy Gabriel Casey, and I'll be playing violin. Rabbi Schoenbrum was delighted to be contacted by Patty White to participate today, but unfortunately he had a conflict in his schedule, so we relay his gratitude and best wishes for shalom, peace to all. He asked us to perform today a traditional Jewish tune, Hine Matov, a beautiful melody with these Hebrew words. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yahad. And that translates to how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to sit together as we are today. So we're going to play this beautiful tune for you, then you're going to sing it, and we invite you, as we play it again the third time, if you wish and are so moved, to hold hands. You can sway and sing. If you don't know the words, you can go da 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 da. That works. Or hum along. And do sing if you know the words. And I know there's somebody back there who knows the words and is going to help sing along.
Directing the choir. So a little program errata. It kind of says dancing to the song. Yes, we are dancing to a song. The song is actually called Rise. It is by Katy Perry. And we titled this dance, We All Can Rise. I'd like everyone to, just for a moment, imagine that you're seeing a flock of geese flying overhead. And you know how the geese fly in formation, and these migratory birds seem to know exactly where they're going year after year, season after season.
Well, there's some facts that go with that. When they fly in the formation, they have about 71% more thrust than if they were to fly alone. We could perhaps take a note from the flying geese. Also, when these geese fly, there is a bird that flies point. The birds always seem to know exactly where they're going, and you hear the geese from behind honking. Not honking to say get out of the way, but honking to encourage. Couldn't we learn to be more like the geese? And finally, when an animal is wounded or ill, and that animal must fall out of formation, two other birds will go to the ground with the wounded or the sick animal. And those birds will stay with the wounded or the sick animal till the bird either dies or recovers. And at that point, they will seek to rejoin their flock, or they will join another flock that's flying overhead in formation. And again, couldn't we learn to be a little bit more like the geese, to help each other, to hold each other, to support each other, to rise and fall together and to rise again. So the title of this piece is called We All Can Rise.
Is everybody good? You don't know how many great things there are out there to eat. So I'm a deal with myself. I never prepared notes for this. Part of my saying thank you to all of you, because I just really want to speak from my heart. And every year, you saw me when you came in, I was like walking up and down, I get real jittery, how's this going to go, how's that going to go? And then I get so full, and as I am right now, is there anything like this in the whole Monmouth County, at least, or the whole, no. The symmetry teamwork. Look, we didn't even have to announce for each group to come up. The movement back and forth and in and out is so exquisite. And I'm so proud to be part of the Monmouth Center for World Religions, and so grateful to the UUCMC, and on and on and on. So I just checked. There's a feast coming out of the oven, and I'm almost prepared. I think we have abundant food, but I always ask that you take small portions first and then come back for seconds, because we don't have any way of knowing how many of us are going to be here. The work of the Monmouth Center is totally voluntary. The food is all provided by the board of the Monmouth Center. And the board is, as I said, totally voluntary. We do all of our work for nothing. I mean, no money. And so there is, we don't do a collection, but anything you can contribute goes to creating some of our very special programs, and we appreciate it. So, did I forget anything? Any questions? Just come and enjoy.
CMC, and also we're going to be joined by the ISIS tribe, which is a drumming group from Asbury Park that we often collaborate and work with. So we'll be doing some drumming. Feel free to get up and dance, clap or dance, or exit to the next room, whatever you want to do.
Okay, everybody, who's up with one more thing, please? See, I asked this. There is going to be a performer's photo, so if you performed, please stay behind. Don't worry, we will save you food, and we'll get a great photo of everybody.
Wonderful. I'm grateful. I'm a minister here. I've learned a great deal. I like the word custodian. Yes, well, it's